Okay, I will tell you. Number one red flag. I look for patterns.
Yeah.
How often does this person call me? How often do they text me? If you text me first thing in the morning during the week and you don't do it during the weekend, I immediately get suspicious. Now, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to sit back and observe.
The Best Is Yet to Come is a podcast about dating later in life. It's co-hosted by Tonya Carter, Brenda Yamas, and me, Richard D'Ambrosio. We're all exploring dating from a fun but sophisticated, sexy, and smart perspective. And we're going to be tackling every issue that mature men and women face while seeking love, companionship, and yes, sex. So you can follow us on our private Facebook group and on our YouTube page. Please join us in this discussion about one of the most important things a human being can have, a relationship with a significant other. Welcome to episode, what are we on, guys?
13.
13, lucky 13. We're on episode
Woo-hoo.
13. The Best Is Yet to Come, a podcast about dating later in life. And we are talking today about being cuffed for the holidays. And again, this is an adjective I was completely unaware of until I was schooled by Tonya Carter and a press release that I saw from some survey somewhere. But before we jump into that, happy Thanksgiving, ladies.
Thank you. You as
Yeah.
well.
Thank you. Same to you.
So if you have to rate this Thanksgiving on a scale of 1 to 5,
5 being the best, right?
Yeah.
5 for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I had a 4. I had to cook a little bit. I was trying not to cook, but it was easy. It was an easy and chill out day.
I'll go with a 4.5. It was almost perfect. It's a small Thanksgiving for a guy who's used to, family of 11. Once the in-laws started showing up for Thanksgiving, good gracious, we doubled that to 25 or so. And it's kind of strange now to be down to, on off years, Tyler was with his mom. My son was with his mom. So there was just the three of us, and my daughter didn't, come back to the apartment till like 3:00 in the afternoon. So it's just very quiet, peaceful, and lots of time to be thankful. So, and I will have to say, ladies, when I sat down to dinner last night, I did say I'm thankful for Brenda and Tonya.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Because this has been a fun ride with the two of you. Cuffed for the holidays. I'm going to start with Tonya because you're the one who knew a heck of a lot more about this, although Brenda did too. Brenda's quite aware of all this. So,
but let's be honest, the only one that's going to be cuffed for the holidays is you.
You, Richard. I'm over here uncuffed.
Well, but help me understand. Isn't cuffed involuntary?
Yeah.
It's an involuntary state of relationship.
So Richard booed up. They fall in love and stuff. Cuff, you just trying to make it first cross.
Right. And I think that's what the discussion is that very often people find themselves starting a relationship and manipulators know how to start that relationship without you even knowing it. They get you going, and then all of a sudden you start finding yourself heading down a path. And you're like, wait a second, Thanksgiving's coming and he or she is asking what I'm doing. And then of course you got the, Christmas and Hanukkah holidays. Do I buy this person a gift? And I'm just wondering, Tonya, I don't read the Twitter sphere as much as some people do. Are there really people out there who are manipulating people to, at the very least, even if there's not love, let them in the door, and then it's hard to kick them out because here comes the holidays?
Oh, most definitely. I was just speaking to my friend before, when I came on, I was speaking to him and I was telling him the topic and he started laughing. He's like, oh yeah, girl, you got to get somebody. You got to just sort of make it through the holidays, just make it through the winter. And I was telling him about our conversation last week where you were like, do you go to the movies? He was like, the movies? Why are you taking this person anywhere? You're just trying to make it to the first cross. So I've never been cuffed, so I don't know. I'm imagining. You're not.
I'm only imagining too, because the women that I've been with during the holiday season, it was my voluntary desire to have them there. It wasn't a reluctance. It wasn't, oh shit, what am I going to do with this woman? Actually, that's not true. When I was 21, I was dating a woman. It did start around Halloween because we were matched by a mutual friend. And she was really cute. She was a sweet person. Her mom was kind of strange. Her mom used to hit on her boyfriends. And I didn't learn about this until we broke up. But she and I worked together through Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I did buy her a very nice piece of jewelry for Christmas that year. And it was kind of a cuffed relationship. I felt like I was in the dominant seat because she was more, I need a boyfriend. I need a boyfriend. And I was kind of like, well, let's see where this goes. She's kind of cute. And, my friend thought she'd make a good match with me. So I guess I have been cuffed, but it's been 36 years.
And I'm thinking to be truly close, you have to live together.
Oh, okay.
It's not you're just dating. That's just your escort through the holidays.
Well, then I would have been living in her mom's house and I probably would have been raped.
By the mom.
By the mom.
By the mom.
Yeah. Because that's what I heard. After we broke up, I was told, oh no, it's that Mrs. Robinson, the graduate thing going on there. Wow.
See, I want to say that I like to make the distinction that I think the people or the men that would be interested in cuffing are probably people that are younger than 40. What do you think, Tonya? Or are we talking about
There's some old
men over
fools out here
40?
need to be cuffed. There's some old fools out here sleeping on the bridges, sleeping in their cars. They're caught up in the Bermuda Triangle, girlfriend one house, girlfriend two house, and their mom's house. There might even be a grandmother or a sister caught up in the mix. But so you
I can't take that man seriously though, because that man is probably someone who it's not stable, whatever age, however old they
of course
are.
he's
but
not
clearly
stable.
they're
He's
not
trying to find
stable.
somewhere to stay for the holidays. He's like a
Oh.
groundhog or a bear. He's just trying to find somewhere to hibernate for the winter.
He's burrowing
Of
in.
course he's not stable. A stable person has their own place to live.
Holy
Let me
crap.
ask you this. Will a stable person have their own place, but maybe seek a relationship so they're not completely alone during the holidays?
I would go with that. They would have a relationship.
That
mean,
more
that's-
of a situationship than
Yeah,
being
that's a-
cuffed?
Yes.
Richard
Okay.
bringing out all the good words today. Say it, Richard.
I have been
Yes.
taught so well by these ladies.
Oh yeah, you got it. You
You're
are
right, that's
yours.
a situationship because cuffed, you got to be living together. So you
Yeah.
can break free with the first frost. I like
Gotcha.
the way Richard brought that in. That's right. So you got to keep up. You got to keep up, Brenda.
On it. He's on point.
So Tonya, I mean, I couldn't find anything more than like advice people out there. How does this happen? Does it start at a bar somewhere? Does it start at match.com? How can people expect this to happen? And what kind of red flags should they look for to say, oh my God, this person's not serious about a relationship. This person's just looking for a safe place to land?
So I know someone who met a person at the bus station,
Wow.
at the Greyhound, in the dead of the winter. It was freezing outside. They were not at the bus station to meet anyone to be cuffed with. They went to the Greyhound station to pick someone up who was coming into town and met someone who was fresh off the bus from another state and brought this person home. And that person was just there until the first frost, just from meeting at the bus station. So I'm guessing there's a little bit of naivety on one side or the other. The guy who's looking to be cuffed or lady, he understands exactly what he's doing. You just have to have a woman desperate enough to say, come in because I'm so lonesome. I don't want to be by myself during the holidays.
Mhm.
So if he's a manipulator or whoever's a manipulator, the one who's being manipulated is accepting of it because they need that attention at all costs. It's my assumption of how it would go.
So red
Okay.
flag number one is someone
Two
who doesn't
desperados.
have an address,
Mm. I
Yeah,
would say
doesn't have a physical
excuses.
address.
yeah.
No, stay away from him or her. There's a reason why they have
Somebody
a very
that has-
large backpack.
Yeah. I would say somebody that
Yeah.
has a convoluted backstory.
Yeah.
Like so it's always in the middle of something, or got fired or lost their job or this or the other. It's always like some
excuse,
convoluted. Yes.
but they're always a victim. And Rich,
Right.
there's not necessarily a big backpack, because if you meet a Rolling Stone, this Rolling Stone is not like a homeless person on the street probably has more property than the person who's trying to get cuffed. Because you getting cuffed, you got to move fast. You're not bringing a whole lot of stuff. It might be a small duffel bag. And I'm just saying this from cuffing situations that I've seen, you know.
Wow.
At least a
So
homeless
that
person
woman,
got a whole shopping
that
cart.
woman is gonna feel like she's got to do this for him, gotta clothe him, gotta bathe him, gotta, feed him.
Exactly.
That's a situation. How can a mature woman, right, our age or above, I want to say we're all mature, how can a mature person not see this train wreck coming?
Maybe she's mature in years, but not there's no wisdom with the maturity. Or again, when you're desperate, if you're true, the article I sent you guys the other day about the desperate lady.
Yeah.
I think when you're desperate, you will accept anything, even if
Yeah.
you're desperate to eat, or,
Yeah.
someone to say, something to drink, all bets are off.
I tell you, I'm sorry, go ahead, Richard.
It keeps going back to the point Brenda's been making since episode 1, which is get right with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's less likely somebody's going to be able to manipulate you because you got standards. You know what you deserve. And some guy who comes shambling in off the Greyhound bus, doesn't have a place to stay, doesn't really have anything going on in the town he just took a bus to. You got to be able to say to yourself, I think he's below my standards.
Well, but no, see, he's not below the standards of the person who brought him home.
Right.
Because that person has no standards.
Right. And that's
accepting him into the situation.
And that's what Brenda's point is if you know yourself, love yourself, you have standards, and that shit don't happen.
Hopefully somebody that's listening to us that has had experiences, is over a certain age, have worked on themselves, can see the red flags coming and actually do something about it, right? Because I will admit, and I have been guilty of this, especially when I was a little younger. I saw red flags and I still overlooked the red flag, and it became a bigger issue down the road,
I think we all have.
Yeah. I think now that I'm older, now, like you guys were asking me a few minutes ago, now if I see one red flag, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm sorry.
What's your number one big red flag, Brenda?
Oh,
number
man,
one.
few. Okay, I will tell you. Number one red flag. I look for patterns.
Yeah.
How often does this person call me? How often do they text me? If you text me first thing in the morning during the week and you don't do it during the weekend, I immediately get suspicious. Now, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to sit back and observe, right? Or you'll call me and we'll be on the phone for hours while you are in town. But when you go out of town, you don't have time to speak, and I understand people are busy. Look, I understand, but people may, prioritize based on the things that are important to them.
Yeah, that's true.
And so now I just pay attention to these patterns. Years ago, I was speaking actually probably a couple of years ago, maybe like a year after I got a divorce, and I wasn't really seriously looking to have a relationship, but I was kind of sort of dating and getting to know and see what was out there. And I remember meeting this guy. It turns out that he was in the Middle East. He was a contractor for the US government, but something wasn't sitting right with me just because of, again, patterns. Oh, you're at work, you're talking, I know there's time difference, this, that, the other. And the investigator in me, see, FBI should just hire women.
Women, because we're all on top of it. Oh my God.
I went online, went through social media. He really didn't have a profile, but I found in a kind of way. Next thing you know, I find out, wait a minute, this guy has a full-fledged on-living girlfriend that is there with him. She's also a contractor for the US government. And one time he called me and I just confronted him and I'm like, dude, you have a living girlfriend and you live here and you live, and he was like shocked. He was like,
Humana.
right. He tap danced for a little while and I'm like, you just don't have to say anything. Like, dude, like like
This will be our final call.
Right. It's like, I don't need to
right.
argue with you. I just want to let you know that I know.
Right.
That I know, right? That's why you only talk to me certain times. That's why you only call, or blah 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 blah. So yeah, patterns. I am very particular about patterns.
Great way to do it, because there are anomalies in a person's day, in a person's week. And just because there's one anomaly doesn't mean something's going on. But if there's a pattern, oh yeah. Yep. I was just talking about that with a female friend, that I saw patterns and I'm like, did you notice the patterns that I'm noticing? Because it doesn't seem like you're picking up on this here. Oh yeah. So being cuffed, what keeps a person there? That person burrows their way into your life, potentially your home. How the heck do you not kick this person out? I mean, what happens? Is it sympathy? Is it,
No, because this person is your knight in shining armor until January the 1st or the 5th.
Uh-huh.
Georgia, by February, they can go back under the bridge. So
Are you
seriously, though,
serious? When you
if you
use this,
manipulate, like what is the temperature today? Like 50, 60 degrees now. Right now I'm in Georgia. It says it's 43 degrees and it's clear outside, which, it's not Puerto Rico weather, but again, it's probably warmer than it is in New York.
oh, it's warmer than it is in New York. I can guarantee you that.
So I don't, it's just simple as starting an argument. It's not that hard to start an argument, Richard.
So
I have wanted to do something, and when I was married in any relationship, I just get an argument started before he can get it started. So I can just clear out.
I have been to a Christmas holiday party at a friend's house where there was a couple that clearly, now looking back with hindsight, she was cuffed to him. You could tell she wasn't entirely happy with him being there. It almost felt like he was working too hard to not be Mr. Nice Guy, but to fawn all over her. And I knew a little bit of the backstory from someone else who was at the party. But it felt like she was complicit in it, even though she was uncomfortable. It almost felt like she was relieved that there was a guy there with her. Was everybody coupled at that party? It's hard for me to remember. It was after I got married, so it was a coupled, kind of thing that all of us were couples. But it was clear these two who were not married, she was much less enthusiastic than he was, and I felt really bad for her. I'm like, then why the hell is he here?
She was just trying to get what she needed out of the situation. It was a sacrifice. She was standing there thinking, oh, God damn it.
I don't want to go to this party alone.
I just got to get through this night.
Right.
If he can get away from me.
I think there are just plenty of women out there that would put up with it just to say they have someone, just to be able to go home and have someone at home. But I can't imagine this being an option for too many people, because like me, right? I have a kid. Like if you are a younger woman with a kid still at home, that's a scary proposition, right? To just bring somebody for the holidays into your home.
Oh no, stop right there. Do not bring that stranger in.
Right. So I mean, so the type of woman, Tonya, would you say it's an older woman before they have kids, or is it a younger woman that doesn't have any kids yet?
It's what do you across the board? I mean, it just happens. People do this with kids in the house.
It all comes back down to self-confidence, self-esteem.
Yeah.
No person who's got self-esteem invites something of a stranger into their home with children in the house. I'm sorry, you just don't do it. Nope.
Well, while you guys are talking, I was Googling this cuffing thing. I'm trying to remember if this is the article that you shared, Richard. But it says that people feel more lonely, and we know that around the holidays.
Yep.
More lonely when the weather is cold in general, and being cold makes people more interested in romantic movies. And so they bring these people in the house for emotional, physical, and psychological needs. And so if you only want a warm body there, then anybody will do.
I guess. And I gotta say, that is a powerful motivator for a lot of people, is the sense of loneliness. I mean, I broke up with a woman in January. February and March were kind of lonely. I was intentional. I wasn't dating. And I didn't even start dating again until, this woman that's with me now, or I'm with her, that we're together. That dealing with that loneliness, I actually grew with it. So over the summer, I spent a lot of time with my son's dog, just disappearing on a Saturday or Sunday for 6 hours by myself, going places. And it's easier when you have a dog, because people want to say hi, and there's a socialization factor that pets bring into a scene. But there were times where he and I would disappear on a mountain for like 3 hours, and the solitude, I grew used to it. I grew used to being alone. I grew used to strengthening my ability to be alone. And I wish that on everybody, that you take the time to be alone and grow comfortable with it, and not consider it a punishment. If you relish it, I think that's a whole another thing. But that's one way to avoid getting cuffed, is just some guy comes along and you don't have that emotional, oh my God, darker days and nights, colder. Boy, it feels lonely. Here come the holidays. Everybody else is matched up with somebody but me. Here comes New Year's. Oh, I don't want to be alone on New Year's Eve. And then you settle. And then you wake up one day and look over at that person. And you're like, holy crap, why am I with you?
Nuh-uh, you don't have to do that.
No.
Because he's going to do that long before you get tired. He's going to be gone with the first frost. But I understand what you're saying. I've had so many people say that, don't you want to be married? No, not right now. I don't want to be married if I'm not going to be happy. I don't want to be in a relationship if I'm not going to be happy. I'm so content up in here. I was listening to Brenda talk about patterns. Some guy was on Bumble, sent me like 4 messages. I wasn't doing a thing. Finally replied, and he called me back, and he probably thinks I have a husband or something. Because I just, I responded so sporadically.
Right.
And he was probably thinking, God, is she married? I was like, no, I just don't want to be bothered. And the guy was really nice. Maybe I go back to the bottom and find him and call him back. That was just, I'm comfortable by myself and I don't feel like making the effort.
Right. If you don't want to make the effort, then I would imagine you wouldn't get cuffed. Because that would seem like that'd be an effort for little in return.
Right.
But this leech sleeping on your couch, or worse, sleeping in your bed.
Oh no. You gotta go. You gotta wake him up at 2 a.m. You got to go home. You can't spend the night.
So you got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like even when my daughter's in the house, when she finally hit maybe 10th or 11th grade, I might have a little midnight crawler, but you're gonna be. I mean, you got 2 hours, 12 to 2.
Are those worms you use for fish bait? Midnight crawlers? Is that what
those worms? Yeah. Like you got a time limit. It's
Did you keep one of those little clocks?
I remember. So I hated those worms.
This person gets in. How do you get them out? Do you just have to wait it out to the first thaw in the springtime? Do you know of any people who've successfully gotten rid of a cuffed partner, or whatever you call them? I don't even know what you call them.
Well, a couple of people I know who was cuffed. It just sort of ran its course into spring broke. Because again, you have a person who's desperate enough to have this person come and live with them anyway. So they're going to pretty much tolerate whatever it is they don't like about the the cuffee.
Mm-hmm.
So the cuffer is the person who's doing the cuffing. And the
like the employer. I'm the employee. I'm working for you, Richard.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess it would be the cuffer, Richard, the one who's
doing the cuffing.
Someone's house would be the cuffer. That makes sense. But I think the cuffer, the one who's in control of the whole situation, is there until they're ready to go. Because the other person's so sad and lonely, They probably cry when the cuffler leaves because
Oh God.
they don't. You know, I read something the other day about a couple of months ago about the side chicks, and it was maybe anyway something about side chicks, and the man said there's so many women out here side chicks who don't even know they're side chicks. That struck me
Mm.
like, what? How don't you know? And then it's coming. He started saying the signs if your boyfriend is doing this, and if your boyfriend is doing that, and if this is happening, that is happening. And all the women started writing, like, oh my God, I think I'm a side chick. I was like, how the fuck didn't you know? I
think-
guess some of these men are so invested in keeping up their scenario, their scheme. Go ahead, Brenda.
No, but I think a lot of men also know how to manipulate that and know how to deflect anytime a woman sees a
Yeah.
pattern. And so the woman doesn't even question it because, oh, I don't want to be, what is it? I don't want to nag. I don't want to be a nag
Yeah.
or, or this or that or the other. And I think a lot of women are so desperate and are not comfortable by themselves, like Richard said, that they will
Yeah.
take anything and believe anything
Anything.
just because they don't want to dig deeper and
Right.
find out the truth.
You don't question. You talk.
Right.
We're talking. Look about the married people who are out here not questioning because they don't want to know the truth.
Right. Absolutely.
You just take it. It's like, do you see this? It's right here. It's like you got tunnel vision. They're like, I'm not
Right.
looking to the left. I'm not looking to the right. I'm just going straight ahead. So, and then we're saying women. It's men out here too. Got insane women cuffed up in their house who have come over and taken over for the winter.
Mm.
Well, what are the 5 signs you've been cuffed? Other than
I'm
the
gonna have to
marks
go to
around
this
your
article
wrists.
and see because I don't know.
Oh,
I never been cuffed.
I'm gonna
I read
start.
this article.
I'm gonna start with he doesn't pay for groceries.
Yes.
You're cuffed if he's not paying for groceries and the
I would
rent.
say, yes, I would say he doesn't have a steady job. Like he's not going somewhere every day. I think, I don't know, but I want to assume that this person is like doing odd things,
Yeah,
odd.
that's
And
true.
I
it's 'cause-
wonder,
Definitely.
ladies, if a man who cuffs in a relationship, is he any different in bed than a man who truly is interested in you? I wonder.
I think he is very
Oh.
good in bed 9 times out of 10. It's
Okay.
got to be something keeping him there. I don't
Gotcha.
think you can be cuffed. You're not buying no food. Like this got to be the one thing you're good at, right?
Yes.
You got
I will-
there's got to be something. You came in my house with the clothes you were wearing, an extra pair of pants, some dirty socks and underwear in a croaker bag. You have got to know how to do other. I call myself. You got to be skilled in some areas. You got to be a benefit to me.
Oh, yes.
Ow.
Yes.
He's
You need
good.
to,
He's
he must
real
have
good.
enough
Yeah.
skills to be able to please a woman. But
Got
now,
to be.
obviously, he's going to have to work a little harder because you got to please a woman enough for her to overlook all of these other issues, right? And keep you still.
You know what? I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because something just popped up to me.
Okay.
I'm
Uh-huh.
desperate. I want attention.
Uh-huh.
All he has to do is give her a hug and just talk sweet to her. He does not have to be that good in bed.
Oh.
Because most women want
Mm.
emotional support more than the physical, if you think about it. I'm over here all emotional support I need. So just get me with the physical and I'm good. But if you're desperate, if your self-esteem is low, he just has to have a silver tongue and not in bed. But a silver tongue would, just tell you what you want to hear.
Well, a silver tongue in bed wouldn't be
Yes.
bad either, I guess.
That's great, but I'm just saying to start off with the cuffing. The tongue is silver because that's how he gets into the house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Then once he's in the
Silver tongue in
house,
bed is how
that's
he
how
stays
he
in the
gets
house.
somewhere else. And he's
Somewhere
really
else.
in the house.
Right? What was our 5 things? Okay, mine is he got his clothes in the croaker bag.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another sign. He does not have Louis Vuitton luggage. He doesn't even have luggage.
Right.
That's
He
a
must
clear
have
sign you've
plastic
been
bag.
cuffed.
2 pair of pants and a shirt is in the croaker bag.
Oh God, that's so. I can
What's
see it
the other
now.
2?
What's
Right.
the other two?
I forgot what was 1 and 2. What was 1 and 2?
So number 1 is he doesn't help with the bills.
Okay.
Not good
number
with the
2.
bills. Number 2 is what we just said. He's
What you say, Brenda?
I'm having that
Gotta have some
57.
sort of skill set in the bedroom.
Okay, so he
in order
doesn't
to-
work. No, I think number 2, he doesn't have a job or something. No
Yes.
stability.
Okay, that's number 2.
Yes.
He doesn't have
Number
a job.
3, he's clothes in the Kroger bag.
Right? Like Kroger bag.
Until you can get him a backpack.
Food
from
Lion,
Walmart.
Kroger, or Publix.
Right, until he takes your 8-year-old son's Spider-Man backpack to put his stuff in. And not the big backpack, the little backpack.
Little one.
Oh, that is so wrong.
The toddler backpack. This man is on the move, so he's cuffed. She's got to buy him clothes, like you say, Brenda. She's got to buy him clothes.
What does a cuffed man watch on your television? What is he streaming? Except
He's
porn.
streaming whatever he want to watch because he's taking over. You got to look at what he's looking at.
Yeah.
You got one TV, he's looking at, oh, you know what he's doing?
Right.
This is what he's doing. He has taken your son's PlayStation that his daddy got him last year, and he's playing Xbox and PlayStation all day.
And you're cuffed.
He has no interest in TV. Don't have a
Oh
job.
my God.
You don't look at TV.
How old is this guy?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
He's a
matter.
bum. They play games all day. Even men with jobs play
Excuse me.
games, but not all
Oh
day.
my goodness.
You're a
This is so
bum. You
painful.
headset on and play all day. And
So
you know
number
what?
4
Somebody out
sign that
here-
you're cuffed is he takes over your son's PlayStation.
or whatever they play. I don't know. What do they play?
Yeah.
He's reached platinum level of whatever. What do the kids play today? Call
What
of
is the
Duty.
one where they drive and run over stuff?
Oh, that's yeah. The
Oh, that's so painful.
Gangster
I
something or
would say,
another.
I want to say another sign
he's-
would be, have you met his family? Like, what do you know about his family? What are
There
the
you go.
stories he tells you about his family?
Now, that cannot be a sign because
why?
even if you met his family, a guy like him is just as trifling as his family he comes from. They don't have a problem meeting her. They're going to cover up for him for last year's cuff.
Right.
They're not going to say anything. She's going to come in the house.
Because
call
that
her
means they
mom.
don't have to pay for his groceries, and he's
Right.
not taking
They're-
their sons.
Right. They're going to come in the house.
PlayStation.
The girl going to be calling his mom a mother-in-law. And I'll be like, y'all hear the in-law in that? In-law? Y'all not married.
I watched something on TV the other day where the guy was actually texting the mama ahead of time.
Yeah,
And the mama
see?
was asking, what's the name of this one? So he would
See?
text the name and they would show up, and mama was like so polite and so welcoming to the new girlfriend. She was just
She doesn't know.
keeping
The
up.
mamas and the sisters all. Now, the only person
Accessory
who
to
might
the
tell
crime.
the truth, the
Yeah.
only person who tell the truth is there's a big mama there. I don't mean the big mama is 45 and clubbing.
Grandma.
I'm talking about a real big mama, a real 65, 75, 80-year-old big mama would tell her.
Who's fed
He
up
ain't
with them?
shit. See what she was
Yes.
saying. They covering up for him. If there's not a true big mama around, because big mama's now 45. So meeting the
Mm.
family, that can, I mean, he doesn't have a problem with her meeting the family.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a whole part of making it look real. I mean, just from my point of view,
No.
why wouldn't she meet the family?
Hey,
He
look.
proud to show her. He proud to show off his girl to the family.
Yeah.
And Richard look at Richard's face. Richard's like, yeah.
I just
I'm
can't believe there's leeches like this. I mean, I can believe it. It just thinking it through scares the crap out of me.
you
I mean,
wonder.
I got to tell you, I do have my antenna up when my kids are dating.
Mm.
I am
yeah.
looking for signs that that other person is a taker more than a giver. Because I know my kids are givers. My kids, they want to be partners with somebody, and there's got to be some equality there. Otherwise, my kids get taken advantage of. So I know that that's what they're looking for, and as a result, that's what they're giving. So I do. I'm like sniffing around. What's he do
So
for a
do
living?
you tell them? Do you tell them? I mean,
I do it subtly. So now if my daughter ever watches this, she's gonna be like, is that what you've been doing, my
Like
boyfriend, Dad? Now I gotta
like,
worry.
yep.
No, I gotta worry every time I bring him over. What's my dad asking him?
Well, you know, that's what dads would do. That's what dad. That's what moms
Yes.
do. That's what they do.
Yes.
Look, I'll tell you, I knew that this current guy in my daughter's life was a good guy because she had a minor fender bender in a small supermarket parking lot. And I said, sweetie, do you want me to come on over until the police arrive so you can get all the insurance taken care of? She goes, no, blank name. He's going to come over
Yeah.
and wait with me. I was like, oh,
Oh.
That's sweet.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh,
You know, we got to put our daughters in the hands of someone, and our sons too,
And
because
our sons too.
you know, I think about Jodi Arias and all of those people,
Who?
and here, Jodi
Jodi
Arias,
Arias,
the one
the
who
girl
killed her
in
boyfriend.
Oh no. You got me completely caught off guard. Who is this?
Jodi Arias, Google
Jodi
her later,
Arias.
but she killed her boyfriend. And
Uh-huh.
of course, she was cuckoo bird, but she thought her tears were going to get her off. But I think that sometimes when they didn't take her serious, her mental instability as serious as they should have, the
Uh-huh.
friends thought, the boyfriend sort of laughed it off. And when he realized it was a problem, it was too late. But you know, sometimes women being the abusers, men don't get treated the same. And I think you know, men, we should recognize that men are abused by women. So that's why I say even giving your son to someone,
Oh yeah.
you know, some crazy chick out here who thinks it's okay to hit him, it's just
oh,
I mean,
And then
I would be the horrible mama. Like, what? You want to date my son? Oh no. You have this 25-point checklist.
it's
Anya,
like what's going on?
your daughter is on her own. She is taking care of herself. Have you had the cuffing discussion with her to get her antenna up?
My daughter,
Yeah.
you know what? So she has a roommate, but
Uh-huh.
my daughter is yeah. You know, I tell you, my daughter tell me all the time, please stop. I'm not your little friend.
But
I'm
you're
not your
not. You're
little
being her
friend,
mom and
mommy.
you're
I'm
protecting
not your
her.
little friend. Please don't tell me this stuff.
But that's what we have
Oh
to do as
no.
I
parents.
do have conversations with her about different things.
Uh-huh.
We have great communication. We've always.
I have dated women with daughters who have told me it was something they did fear because here they are. They 90% of the women I've dated were divorced. I've dated one widow. And they have said to me they are very conscious based on their dating patterns how to relate that to their daughters to say, hey, you got to be careful out there. There's guys who want to leech off of you, especially if you've got a stable job and you've got a career path. So I've been very proud of some of the women that I've seen because they're having those difficult conversations with girls who haven't been as active in the dating space and have the level of maturity that these women did.
I think I told you before. I'm always up with her, and I remember when she was like 7 or 8 years old. I would ask her something. I would say, Anastasia, there's going to come a time when someone's going to try to press you to do something you don't want to do. So I would say, I would ask her to do something I knew she didn't want to do. And I would teach her to say no. And then I would say, well, and if the person says, if you love me, you would do it. And your answer should always be, and if you love me, you wouldn't ask. Because I wasn't taught that. I didn't understand that comeback. When you're young and you're 14 and you're 15, you got somebody, man, got you pressed up against the wall, huffing and breathing on you. You can't even hardly think. So, and you don't know to say, if you love me, because you're there. Brenda knows, if you love me, you would do this. And you trying to come up with an answer because I've already said no. But that's not registered in this fool's head. So that's why I taught her to say, if you love me, you would not ask, accept my no. So one thing I always embedded in her ad nauseum, but not to scare her, was always let your no be a no, because I was 40 years old probably before sometimes my no still isn't a no. I'm still working on that.
Yeah,
But
I am
that was
too.
my thing for her, Richard, was to let her no be a no.
But that was a great way that you taught her by actually putting her in the situations so she'd have to feel the emotions. That
I
is a
have to put her in
really
a situation where
yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, you did, and get her all pumped up.
You passed the test, sweetie.
But I mean, it happens. It happens to us as women. We get this all the, and maybe men may get it too. I can only speak from a woman. You ever had that question, Brenda? If you love me, you would do it.
Mm-hmm.
How did you respond? Did you get pressured into doing whatever? Would you have that talked with Aaliyah, or how do you have
Oh,
it?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to address that and deal a lot with it in the military because as a leader, I'm also trying to diffuse situations like that between the people that work for me. Young kids, young girls, young men. Yeah, there was a lot of conversation. And yeah, absolutely. Aaliyah would get she's going to get it double-sided, from me and then from her dad, who's not just military, but also law enforcement. So,
Oh yeah.
yikes, poor child. Poor child.
Oh, no, she's not a poor child. She's a child who's being taught early on how to stand up for
No,
herself.
I think she said it's going to be
Absolutely.
drummed into her. I think as a woman, there's another layer to our no means no with guys. You have to perfect saying no without getting him angry enough to attack you. That's a whole nother.
Yikes.
Well, let's start
It's just a
here.
relationship,
Right. But let's start here. Let's start by establishing from the get-go that if you say no, you mean it. And if you don't mean it, then you don't say no ever, right? If you don't mean it, don't even go there. Just say, yes, I accept it. But we have taught our girls that it's not okay to be yes, or it's not okay to, let's talk about intimately, right? Like,
yes, yeah.
If you want this to happen, then just say, yes, I want this to happen. And don't do the whole fake, no, because.
Don't be so demure and playing games and stuff.
Right, playing it exactly. And this is when we have problems, right? When you are not
up front and own who and what you want.
Right. Going back to cuffing, right? If this situation doesn't even look like something even remotely that you want to be a part of, why even go along with it? Just say, you know what, this is not going to work for me. And just let it be, and just be firm, because I think a lot of men have this misconception that, oh, she said no, but she really doesn't mean it, and that's where
been her on TV for years. Every show she said no, but I know she means yes. That's just
right.
The chauvinism that goes around. But I think with the cuffing, the woman actually means yes, and she says it because of her emotional needs. And but, I don't know, everything. I'm sure every situation is different.
And that's okay too, right? If a woman agrees to this arrangement, then you know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and you know exactly that what you have to gain or lose from the situation. You cannot be surprised, right? If this situation turns out to be just a temporary thing because you accepted it and just own it.
You guys think though that sometimes a woman doesn't realize it's strictly a cuffing, and she's got these designs on getting engaged on New Year's Eve at a New Year's Eve party? I mean, is there also that element of it?
I'm looking at this article, Richard. I scrolled down and it says, are you cuffed up? If you're wondering whether your last fling is a cuff, here are some signs to watch out for. Any future plans do not go beyond the winter months. You do not go on many or any dates. There's lots of excitement about the holidays, but nothing past the holidays. You are contacted out of the blue before holiday events, and it feels like there's a sense of urgency to get together. Intimacy tends to be physical, but there's no deep conversations. There's no emotional connection. There may be some on and off ghosting. Because I'm thinking about if he's cuffing, he can disappear 1 or 2 nights with somebody else. Why not? Because he just said on and off ghosting. This person's relationships have a pattern of lasting only during the winter months. Most plans are about staying in bed rather than doing other activities. And if you do other plans, they're very low key. The sex feels good enough for now.
Enough.
Yes, he said he didn't have to. I told you he didn't have to be real good.
Yeah.
But if the person is emotionally unavailable. Now, see,
there's a big sign. Yeah. Do you think men can fake being emotionally available?
Oh, yes.
A narcissist can tell you anything that you want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not even a narcissist. Men know if his only goal is to get in the bedroom, he'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
Whatever.
I mean, they know who they can use that with and who they can't.
They prey on you. And then when they can't use it on you, they call you crazy. Why are you so crazy? I'm not crazy. I'm aware. But if you prefer crazy.
I'm in a private NPD group, and that's one of the big things that they talk about all the time is the gaslighting. What do you mean? What do you mean? That's not the reality. No, they're always challenging your reality. I have been with an NPD person, My reality
Now,
was
what is the
challenged.
MPD? What's the MPD?
Narcissistic personality disorder.
Oh, Ian as in November. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Got a
Wow.
bit of a scratchy throat. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
And one of the things that they do is they always challenge your reality to the point where you start to doubt what you see, what you
Yourself.
hear.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, once you start doubting yourself, you're open to somebody saying, well, I was trying to get a job all day. I know you were at work, but I was online trying to apply for jobs and nobody's calling me back. And, you know, even though they would, then you go on the Xbox and you see that they logged in at, 7:35 right after you left for work and they didn't get off until 4:38 when you were coming home. And you're like, oh, that's reality.
So you're giving them credit for even logging off. No, they're just up in there. Why they care? They're there. I dated a narcissist. I'm going to go ahead and say it. My daughter's father. I mean, the biggest narcissist in the world. I told him one day he was sociopath. I mean, he could lie and believe.
The courage to tell him he was a sociopath?
Oh, yeah. I say
if he is a sociopath, aren't you worried you're going to trigger something?
No, I mean, he was never violent or just an asshole, but and maybe, maybe he could have been violent to somebody else. He's a kind narcissistic sociopath.
He's a kind narcissist.
Kind one.
We had so much fun together. We dated. We weren't cuffed. We were somewhere every night doing something. He was so fun, so spontaneous. If you want to date somebody who's fun, that's your guy. If you can deal with somebody who's constantly lying, who's constantly cheating, who's just love himself more than God, then hey, he's your dude. But he was a narcissist like that. Everything he said was a lie. So, when we were first dating, and he would say, we're going to go out tonight. I'll be there at 8:00, and I would wait. The first couple of times I would sort of wait for him. And I thought the second time he didn't show up and didn't call, I was like, but back then we didn't have cell phones. We had pagers. I had a home phone. We could have called and text or did something. So after about that second time, I would just leave. I was like, okay. He said he coming at 8. He got to 8:05, and I'm out. So I would leave and he would call me back the next day. Oh, I came by to see you last night. You left before I got there. What time did you leave? And I'd be like, oh, that's 8:30. I came by at 8:35. I had just missed you.
Yeah.
So after 2 hours, I was like, okay, you fucking with me, right? Like you really playing with me right now.
Right.
So the next time he said he was coming by, I didn't even wait. I just left. So he called, he said, I'm coming at 2. I got in the car with my friend. So I thought Antonio's coming. Girl, I'm not waiting on him. I'm out. Whatever. So he called me. I came by last. I was like, oh, did you? Because I waited for you. He says, what time did you leave? I said, what time did you come by? He's like, what time did you leave? I'm like, what time did you bring your black ass by? Okay. No, I need to know what time you left. Why? If you know what time you came by, why you need to know what time I left? He got so upset. He just blew up. You're always so difficult. And I'm just calm. It's like after I was like, okay, I let him blow up.
You bagged his ass.
I said, now you ready to tell me what time you came by? So listen, I don't know who you're used to dating, but if you say you're coming by at 2 at 1:30, I'm leaving. Never had a problem with him not showing up again. You just have to make them, or if he wasn't coming, he would call. And to show proof of that, he tried me one time. He said he was coming by 30 minutes before he got there. I left. He said, I can't believe I'm standing out here. I just came by, are my I was like, are my curtains open or closed? Because now I need to know you really at my house. He was like, no, this was up. I'm looking in the window. That light is on that. Okay. But yeah, I'm gone. And I didn't even wait. But that's a narcissistic personality. If you're not strong enough, he would have been gaslighting me every time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you left 8:32. I drove up at 8:33 and 0.5. No.
That is so true.
No. But it got to the point where we would laugh about it. He said, no other woman calls me on my bullshit.
The narcissist that I was with, we had a mutual friend. And the mutual friend was telling me that they were trying to befriend my friend to give that person an outlet in other relationships. And so I would ask the woman I was with, I would say, well, so-and-so said you've never called about going out for drinks. Oh, no, I did. I left voicemails and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. And then I would go talk to the mutual friend. I'd say, well, she's telling me she left you voicemails. You didn't return them. She's like, do you want to come over to my house and listen to my voicemail machine? This is back when there were voicemail machines, guys, landlines. And I'm like, no, I don't need to do that. But I felt gaslighted. I'm like, you're telling me this, the other person's telling me the opposite. And all of a sudden, like I was standing on these shifting sands, and distorting the reality is probably a great tactic of cuffers, because they've got to keep you off guard. They've got to keep you doubting
Yeah.
yourself. They've got to keep you in a place where they can get what they want out of you by telling you what they need to tell you at the time you need to hear it. And that, to me, is, that's definitely a strategy we all need. Is you've got to be able to look for those patterns, as both of you have said.
Yeah.
And I think, Tonya, that was an excellent demonstration of how to defeat it. In advance what the
Yeah.
pattern is. You
Yeah.
put them in a position where they can't use it against you. And then at least they got to wake up to the truth now, because you've got the truth, and they got no out now. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't let
That's
them
true.
cuff you.
Well, the cuffing works because he finds someone who's desperate enough to not question him, the cuffer.
Yeah.
To not ask these questions, to just give enough emotional support.
Yeah.
Well, as the thing said, they're not even giving emotional support. I was giving them credit for emotional support, but maybe it's pretend, like you said, Richard.
But it's funny what you said, right? Like even with your daughter's father, where he's saying no other woman ever called him out on his BS. You were the only one that noticed the patterns and pull out. So for one of you that would call him out on his stuff, how many others were out there that he could just take advantage of?
It's probably scary.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, in your group, are there narcissists in the group, or people who have only dealt with narcissists?
They are people who have survived narcissism. The admins are pretty good that if somebody demonstrates NPD traits and is using that to hurt someone in the group, they get chucked pretty quick. So it's a pretty safe place to talk.
No, I asked because I really want to ask the narcissist who's aware of that's who they are.
There's a celebrity.
Why?
There's a celebrity. I think it's John Mayer, the singer. He has said, I know I have narcissistic tendencies. That's why there are so many women that he's hurt their feelings. And he says, yeah, I can't stand the phrase, I can't control myself. That's bullshit. If you're aware of it, if you put enough work in, you can control yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't
think John
he's
Mayer,
old enough.
Well, he's got to be in his 30s by now, no?
Yeah, but 30s, you have money, you have fame. You have plenty of excuses to act like a 12-year-old,
Oh, you do. Absolutely. But as we wrap this up, we've got the 5 tips for, he's probably a narcissist.
I don't think we got the 3rd and the 5th, the 4th and the 5th.
I think we did. I can't remember them, because at 57 years old, I can't remember what I had for Thanksgiving dinner. I think it was turkey. Is there a situation, though, where cuffing ends up in romance? Would that make a great rom-com? What do you guys think? Should we write a screenplay about a cuffing that somehow turns out into a stable long-term relationship? Wouldn't that be a cool screenplay?
I think it's possible. You ever start dating somebody ugly just to hang out, before you know it, their cross eyes don't bother you anymore? It's just their personality you like.
that body odor that lingers in your bedroom after they leave, suddenly you can forgive it.
Like, ooh, that's a nice fresh smell. I would think maybe there are some people's cuffing does turn out, because from reading this article, cuffing does not have to be about just living together. It could just be about hanging out during the holidays, Mm-hmm. There's already been a movie about that. If cuffing is just hanging out, what is My Best Friend's Wedding or something? That could be considered a cuffing thing, where 2 people got together out of necessity.
So, ladies, next week, we are going to be talking about what is it like dating somebody during the holidays, that awkward moment when you've got to decide, do I buy them a Christmas present? Do I invite them to the family Christmas Eve celebration? How long have we been dating? How long have we not been dating? All the complications that come with the fact that do you just completely stay apart during the holidays and, wait until things get serious? Or do you use the holidays as an occasion to start seeing if there's, some kind of simpatico going on here? Because the holidays are all full of high tension with family, lots of emotion, opportunities to create moments that you can check this person out and see them in their environment. For some people it works. Some people, it's what blows things off the charts and out the door. So we'll be doing that. And I can't believe we're already on episode 13. We are 1/4 of the way through our commitment to doing at least 52 episodes. And hopefully at the end of 26 episodes, we'll have a firm idea of how people are playing. So please download, subscribe. Please, we have a Facebook group where we're trying to keep the conversation going. The more people that are in there, the more fun it is, the more engagement there is, the more the dialogue and the conversations can continue. We try to post surveys there. We try to post research that's being done about dating. Please join us at The Best Is Yet to Come on Facebook and our private group. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can watch us on our YouTube channel. So you can also subscribe there and see my shocked faces when Tonya says stuff.
Never me.
Never you.
No, never.
Ladies, I do hope the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend is a place of gratitude, peace, and solitude.
Thank you. You as well. Enjoy your walks with DJ. I look forward to the pictures.
Yes, in fact, we have our final walk of the night right now, and I'll be taking him out in about 10 minutes. So I'll be enjoying the 38-degree temperatures. I forget what we've got here in New York.
Oh,
You can have all of that. I'll come to Puerto Rico with you,
Yeah.
Brenda.
Please.
Winter has arrived. It is time for the holidays. God bless you both. Thank you so much for doing this
You
journey
guys.
with me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you Friday. Bye-bye.